Well, today we are going to talk about having better health, getting healthier, and how important rest is in all of that. That's often one we don't think about. In fact, my friend Erin was just sick and through the weekend, and she said, you know, it's amazing what rest will do for you when you actually do it.
Yeah.
Because people like us so often just barrel through everything and don't get the rest that we need.
Today in the world, it's a very busy and noisy place.
Yeah.
And most people, not everybody, of course, but most people are trying to do more than what they can manage and not be full of stress all the time. And it's stress that makes you sick. The less stress you have, I mean, all I have to do is look at myself and Dave. I mean, I've had a lot of different issues, health issues in my life, but I've also been, you know, and Dave is very laid back and easygoing and doesn't worry about anything and never does and cast your care. And I mean, he just feels good all the time.
Yeah.
You know? So the stress really does make a big difference. And one of the things that we can do, I tell people all the time, make a list of everything you're doing, cross off the ones that aren't bearing any good fruit. Cross off the ones that you're doing for a wrong reason. And if all you have left are the ones that God is really leading you to do, you'll find that God will never give you so much to do that you have to be stressed out to do it.
That's a good encouragement, because it does seem like there are so many good things to do.
Right.
You can definitely fill every waking moment
That's right.
with something that's really good, but that doesn't mean that it's bearing fruit.
Right.
Or that God is asking you to do it.
And a lot of times, Ginger, what happens is God maybe tells us to do something at one time, for a time, but maybe we like it.
Yeah.
And so God gets done with it, but we want to keep doing it because it's something that we want to do. And, you know, an example that you know with me is I did mission trips out of the country for years and years and years. I went 3 times a year, 2 to 3 weeks each time. And we would go to several different countries and do crusades and seminars and, you know, dedicate wells and, you know, different things. And
all really good things.
All really good things. But when I hit about 70 years old, not 70 miles an hour, but 70 years old.
You're always at 70 miles an hour.
I started noticing that it was just getting harder for me to get over the jet lag. So we cut it down to 2 trips a year, and then we cut down from the 3 weeks to the 2 weeks. And generally, that's what you do. You know, you gradually begin to cut things out of your life. And so I did them for another couple of years, and then God started shutting doors. It was like I would have issues, I couldn't get a visa. Or we'd get there and our permits for the parade ground that we needed would be pulled at the last minute, and we made the trip for nothing. And then finally, one country I got blacklisted. They wouldn't let me in anymore because somebody from a different religion complained about me preaching the gospel. And sometimes we're slow learners, but I've learned in my life when the grace of God is no longer on something. When God's grace is on something, it's easy, you have desire. You may get tired, but it doesn't completely wear you out. You rest a little bit, you bounce right back. And so I had to give that up. I didn't want to. Still don't want to. I'd still love to go. Every time you and the team go, I'm like, I wish I could go.
Yeah.
But it's not, if I want to finish what God's called me to do, then only a fool thinks they can always do what they've always done. And so I would imagine that most people listening to us right now, probably more of them feel bad than feel good. A lot of them may have been to the doctor time and time again, and the doctor will say, can't find anything wrong with you. which makes you mad. Or I'd go to the doctor and they'd say it's stress, and that would stress me out more because I got mad because they told me it was stress. I didn't want to hear that. And, you know, I just really want to, like, give me something to take so I'll feel better and I can just keep living my life as crazy as I want to live it. And we just can't do that. We have to, you always need to be, it's kind of like you start and you add things and add things and add things, and then for a period of time you do those things, but then you have to start cutting things out, cutting them out, cutting them out, cutting them out. It's the cycle of life, and everybody goes through it. And so,
no matter what age we are.
No matter what age you are.
We have different phases in our life that God's asking us to do different things and things that we have to focus on. And but one of the things that I think is really interesting about what you're sharing with the overseas trips is it doesn't mean that God stopped doing that work. You know, that the Hand of Hope outreaches, everything's continuing. It was just a time for it to look a little bit different.
Yeah, it's just that I can't personally go there. I'm still behind them all. I'm still involved in them all, you know, but I did 67, I think, mission trips out of the country. And, you know, the day will come when you won't be able to go. You know, we just can't do the same thing forever. But, you know, when I couldn't go, God provided you. And when you can't go, God will provide somebody else, because the whole thing belongs to God anyway. So I don't know why we think that God can't run the world without us.
That is very true. We like to think that. At least we're wrong, but.
And you know, it's awful to feel bad all the time. To just be tired all the time, or just to feel bad and you don't even really know what's wrong, or even worse, to have, you know, high blood pressure from stress all the time, or headaches from stress all the time. And we just need to take better care of ourselves. And there's just a handful of things that we can mention today that will help people if they'll do them. Get enough sleep. The doctors say 7 to 8 hours a night. Once in a while you can go on 5 or 6 hours, but you can't do that night after night after night. Now, there are a few people that's all the sleep they need, but they're very few and far between. My husband had a sister. She's gone home to be with the Lord now, but she only needed 5 hours sleep a night. My trainer, the guy that's my physical trainer, he only sleeps about 5 hours a night. That's all he needs. But I need 8 hours sleep a night. If I want to feel good, I need 8 hours sleep a night. Once in a while I can get 7, but most of the time I need 8 hours sleep a night. People need to drink a lot more water than what they do. Water itself gives you energy. And most people don't drink enough water. You know, I'm really big on drinking enough water, but I find myself I carry water with me all the time, but there's a difference in drinking it and sipping it. And sometimes I have a tendency, I'll take a little sip of water, but if I'll just take 3 or 4 big drinks of water, 3 times of doing that, and I can drink 16 ounces of water. Well, they say you should drink half your body weight in ounces of water. So I weigh about 129, 130 pounds. That means I need to drink about 65 ounces of water a day. So I know how many bottles that is. I need to drink it. Some people think, well, my gosh, with what I weigh, I'd have to drown myself. But water will help you. Drinking a lot of water will help you lose weight. It washes the toxins out of your body, and water gives you energy. Another thing that we tend to do is we breathe real shallow. Or I have a tendency to hold my breath. I don't know why, but a
lot of us do.
I'll find myself holding my breath. And we're supposed to do deep belly. If you watch a baby, when they breathe, their belly goes in and out. Not their chest, their belly goes in and out. And we're supposed to learn how to breathe through our diaphragm, not just this real shallow breathing. Deep breathing. And even if you do it 3, 4, 5 times a day, just take a few minutes and do 5 deep breaths. You know, you take it in slow, let it out slow. That also gives you energy, and it helps your body. It helps your brain. You get the what you need, the oxygen you need to your brain, all the parts of your body. Another thing that people need is exercise. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a trainer and exercise. If you hate that, don't do it. Go out and walk, play tennis, do something. But I lift weights. I have a trainer. I used to walk 5 miles a day, but then I started having some issues with my back, and I haven't been able to do that lately, but I'm looking forward to getting back to walking. I'll probably never try to walk 5 miles a day again. There was a season for that, but that season is over. But just walking is a great way to get exercise. And they're actually saying now that sitting is the new cancer.
Yeah.
That people sit so much, and it's having such a devastating effect on them because we sit at our computers, we sit at our TVs, you walk out the door, you sit in your car, you drive everywhere. We just don't get the exercise that people used to get naturally, so we have to get it on purpose. And if you don't get that, that's bad also. I mean, it's really bad. Sleep, water, don't live on junk food. I'm not saying you can never have anything sweet or you can never have a potato chip, but you can't live on stuff like that. You have to eat good, nutritious food. Don't live on fast food. It's full of all kinds of chemicals and fat and, I mean, just the sodium alone.
Oh, yeah.
In fast food is just like mind-boggling. And for some people, it'll be a total change because they're used to just mistreating their bodies. But our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. That means God lives in us, and we're his representatives in the earth. And so we need to look and feel the best that we can. I always say, you know, we may not all start out with the same amount of good stuff to work with, but you can take what you have and do the best you can with it.
Right.
And I want people to feel good. I want to feel good. And I know that in the world that we live in today, to be honest, if you want to feel good, you got to work at it.
That is very true. Well, thank you for the encouragement. I think we need to drink our water and get up out of these chairs now that we're done.
All right.
Thank you.
Good idea.